I'm happy. I'm excited that MuscleTech is back to focusing on innovation. And if these two products are anything to give us sort of a look into the future, we're all in for a treat from MuscleTech. Welcome inside fitnessinformant.com, Fitness Informant's YouTube channel. I'm my founder and CEO, Ryan Buckeye, here with another 100% honest, no bullshit review, this time of the legacy brand MuscleTech and their Burn IQ Thermogenic based pre-workout supplement. So MuscleTech, legacy brand, been around for decades. For a while, let's be honest, they kind of got content, stagnant in their innovation, which is what brought them to the promised land to begin with. But now they're back. They are having a refocus back on the world of bodybuilding as well as innovation. This product here, as well as Euphoric, which we've already covered here on the channel, both contain a new ingredient that we're going to talk about here in the breakdown of this particular product. I'm happy. I'm excited that MuscleTech is back to focusing on innovation. And if these two products are anything to give us sort of a look into the future, we're all in for a treat from MuscleTech. So Burn IQ, we're going to talk about this product on 5 different categories. First, we're going to talk about the ingredient profile. What is in Burn IQ? Second, we're going to talk about the effectiveness. Third, we're going to talk about the flavor. Fourth, mixability. And then finally talk about the value of Burn IQ from MuscleTech. So let's dive in to the SFP, or the supplement facts panel. The first ingredient we get here is L-carnitine L-tartrate. Now, this could be a 50 or a 25 serve unit. We're going to look at it from 25 servings because that is going to get you the optimal dosages for body temperature increase and potential fat loss when it comes to this particular pre-workout partner. So 3 grams of L-carnitine L-tartrate. So carnitine indirectly is associated with fat loss. I think many brands out there say, hey, if you have carnitine, it's going to burn fat. That's not exactly true. What L-carnitine does is it transports fatty acids to be burned off as fuel, to be burned off for energy, which in turn could potentially lead to fat loss. Now, I do like the addition of 3 grams of L-carnitine L-tartrate. Carnitine has been used in a lot of different fat burners, specifically non-stim fat burners. And if you look at this particular fat burner, there's not a big stimulant that pops out other than the one that we're going to talk about in Paraxanthine. So the next ingredient here is tyrosine, used at 1.5 grams. Tyrosine is a non-essential amino acid. It can help improve cognition. So if you look at the front of this actual unit, it says an ultra clean energy and cognition smart thermogenic. So there you go, tyrosine in terms of the smart thermogenesis. Next ingredient here is green coffee bean extract at 400 milligrams, yielding 45% of chlorogenic acid. So this is similar to caffeine, just not as potent. It can help increase cognition. And in a roundabout way, some studies have linked it to glucose metabolism, but the evidence isn't strong enough to say with 100% validity that it may help you metabolize glucose in the system, which would be basically breaking down the carbohydrates. Next ingredient here is Affinity, is Paraxanthine, 300 milligrams. So Paraxanthine is a metabolite of caffeine. It represents about 80% of what caffeine actually is. So what does that mean? It means you're basically getting all the benefits of caffeine without the negatives that you don't like. So this is a new novel ingredient that is exclusive currently, as of this recording, to MuscleTech to be used in both this Burn IQ and Euphoric, which we've talked about, like I mentioned earlier. Paraxanthine's got some cool studies that can help with, obviously, energy, mood, and cognition. More to come on that as Sean Wells, the creator of this particular ingredient, I'm sure is funding more and more clinicals to come out, but it's really cool to see this ingredient used, and this is what I like about MuscleTech, kind of going back to the roots in terms of innovation. Next ingredient here is Coleus extract. It's standardized 10% for forskolin at 200 milligrams, so forskolin can increase CAMP, which could potentially help with fat loss. You'd like to see this dosage a little bit higher. You want to see, when it's standardized at 10%, you'd like to see 500 milligrams taken per day. You're getting out 200 milligrams here in this particular formula. Next ingredient here is Grains of Paradise extract at 40 milligrams. So Grains of Paradise, if you've had a product with Grains of Paradise before, you know, because the product itself is kind of spicy, which is what we're going to talk about here in the flavoring, but it can actually increase body temperature and thermogenesis. It could help induce more and help you sweat more, perspirate more, whatever word you want to use for water coming out of your pores. Next ingredient here is going to be capsaicin at 30 milligrams, the brand version of capsaicin. Capsaicin, basically cayenne pepper, can improve or help aid in fat loss. It can burn more calories. Some studies show that capsaicin, over like a half-mile duration, burns twice the amount of calories. It's kind of crazy, but it's used here at 30 milligrams in this particular formula. Next ingredient here, black pepper extract at 10.5 milligrams. This helps with ingredient absorption. And then finally, huperzine A at 10 micrograms. Now, I like to see huperzine A higher. If you're going to call this a focus or a smart thermo, at least give me 50 micrograms of huperzine A alongside tyrosine. But overall, the formula, it speaks to what this product is. It's a thermogenic, a smart thermogenic. It's nothing too crazy. It's accomplishing this or trying to accomplish this without the use of exogenous and exotic stimulants, which is a really cool thing. So then in terms of actual effectiveness, here's what I'll tell you from personal experience. I didn't get a ton of increase in body temperature, but what I did is I had a really good, feel-good workout. I've used this both for strength training and cardio training, and honestly, like, you don't get the runner's high per se, but like you feel in the zone, you feel good. It's not anything crazy, and that's paraxanthine working alongside things like tyrosine and huperzine A. But where you want to, where some might, for me, where it kind of fell a little bit short was the fact like my body temperature didn't increase significantly to the point where I was sweating. So ingredients like GBB, for me, get me to sweat. Yohimbine, which is a stimulant, gets me to sweat. Grains of Paradise sometimes can. Carnitine, no. And capsaicin is hit or miss for me. Capsaicin, typically, I'll maybe feel it in my stomach, but my body temperature itself doesn't go up. So, does it work? Yeah, it works, and I like this more for the euphoric part of it, which is funny because, or euphoria part of it, because they have a pre-workout called euphoric, but that's really what I like best about this one, not so much for the thermogenic impact. In terms of flavor, this is mango chili lime. They have mango, chili, lime, and sweet heat. They've really embraced the spice that you get from Grains of Paradise, and why not? You can't go around it. So, you have a very delicious mango flavor. Probably one of the best mangoes I've had in a pre-workout. A little bit of lime, but that chilliness that you get from the actual Grains of Paradise is such a unique twist on this flavor that I think people are either going to love this flavor or they're going to absolutely hate this flavor. I actually like the flavor a lot because it's just so different than what we've had on the market, and I love it when brands really embrace an ingredient and utilize it within the flavor profile, which they do here. In terms of mixability, you're going to see here on camera we did do 1 scoop in 10 ounces of water. So 1 scoop on this is going to be 4.3 grams. So not a lot. You'd expect this to mix really well in water. We get some particles at the bottom. You'll see here in the glass. Now these particles are going to be Grains of Paradise and things that are not fully soluble in water. You get that with particular products like this, and that's okay. If that deters you, so be it. But it's super easy to swallow it, and it's not a big deal for us, but that would be a slight ding on the review, is that there's a lot of particles that float and settle to the bottom of the cup. In terms of values, this right here is going to be the biggest drawback for me personally. I love MuscleTech and what they're doing with these products, but this retails for $60 or $59.99. This is a 50-25 serve, and honestly, like I mentioned at the start, to get the full impact and the benefits of this particular product, you want to take 2 scoops. So you're getting 25 servings for $60. When you compare that to other thermogenic pre-workouts on the market or fully loaded pre-workouts on the market, it's actually rather expensive. You can look at some of the really high dose, fully dosed, mega pre-workouts out there, and they're probably 20 servings for $60, but they also have a ton of stuff in it, right? Serving size in the 20s in terms of grams, and just key brand ingredients that are super expensive. If you compare this to even to their euphoric, which includes paraxanthine, is only $50. So for me, I feel like MuscleTech does need to work on the price point, and if that has to come down to some reformulation work on it, I'm okay with that. I just think consumers today look at the price point, don't understand the cost of goods, and just write things off. So from a consumer's perspective, I think $60 is too expensive for this product. Now, if you can get this on sale or find a good deal on it, I'd recommend trying it because it is a unique, cool product to check out. For more information on this review, look below in the description box for a link to take you to fitnessinformer.com to read more about the science of Burn IQ from MuscleTech. If there is a coupon code, look below. We'll have that there as well as a link to purchase the product. Make sure you subscribe to our social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, right here on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe now link here below. Check out our podcast. It's the Booty and the Beast podcast right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and however you get your podcast platforms. And for more supplement reviews, rankings, news, deals, workout routines, and nutrition plans, visit us on our official website or online at fitnessinformant.com.